Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive on something pretty different.
Different is putting it mildly.
Right. So we've got OnlyBuns. On the surface, it's this, well, exclusive online community for discerning foodies.
Emphasis on the air quotes.
Yeah, their whole vibe is a little extra, to say the least.
A little. The marketing materials you sent, it's like they're drowning in velvet and truffle oil.
Okay, fair point. But is it satire? Are they serious? I honestly can't tell.
That's the brilliance of it, maybe. But there are some serious red flags, I gotta say. Like chefs broadcasting live from Mount Everest while they're, and I quote, hand-grinding heirloom wheat.
And those membership tiers. Spaghetti Survivor versus Cannelloni Casanova. What does that even mean?
It's like they pulled those names out of a hat full of, I don't know, rejected Italian opera titles.
But seriously, though, the prices they list. Are people really dropping thousands on a plate of pasta?
It wouldn't surprise me, but that's part of what OnlyBuns seems to be satirizing, right? This whole notion that food is a status symbol.
It's like, forget taste buds. It's all about how fancy you can make your Instagram feed look.
Exactly. And they're playing it up to the max. Like they have this whole section on pasta satari.
Pasta what now?
Pasta satari. Apparently they're these like pasta masters. Only, I'm pretty sure it's a made-up word.
So they're making fun of us for even pretending to know what it means.
And for being willing to shell out big bucks for something just because it sounds fancy. It's kind of brilliant, actually.
And more than a little disturbing when you think about it.
Right. Like at what point does our obsession with food become, well, unhealthy?
Okay, so we've established OnlyBuns is playing with some pretty interesting concepts. But where does it all go? This whole thing with OnlyBuns, it's really got me thinking, you know?
So,
well, like, how much of this online foodie culture is just smoke and mirrors?
oh, absolutely. And that's where the fiction part comes in. Remember, they speak Italian too. That horror story.
Yeah. OnlyBuns is like a central element in that, right?
More like a gateway to hell, culinary hell, to be exact.
Okay, so remind me about that. How does a fake foodie website end up in a horror story?
Well, Vincenzo Salvia, the author, he uses OnlyBuns to kind of exaggerate these anxieties we have about food and status. It's like he's saying, okay, you think this is bad. Imagine if your obsession with truffle oil landed you in eternal damnation.
No kidding. The punishments in this culinary hell, they're both hilarious and terrifying.
Like the limbo of eternal Italian indecision. You're stuck forever trying to decide between ordering pasta or pizza.
Ooh, that's rough. But also way too relatable. Okay, but what about those people? The ones who swear by that jarred sauce stuff?
Oh, they get sent straight to the jarred sauce circle, forced to eat flavorless, store-bought tiramisu for all eternity.
It's like he's tapped into our deepest, darkest food fears. Like, are we good enough cooks? Are our palates refined enough? Should we even be allowed to post pictures of our spaghetti and meatballs online?
It's brilliant, really, because by making light of those anxieties, he's also highlighting how absurd they are. It's like, come on, people, we're letting this fake website determine our self-worth.
And it's not just about the individual, right? There's a moment in the story, I remember this, where the main character stumbles on this hidden statistic on OnlyBuns. While people are bidding thousands on a single white truffle, a little pop-up appears. It says millions are struggling with hunger around the world.
Exactly. It's such a stark contrast. This over-the-top indulgence juxtaposed with the very real issue of food insecurity.
It makes you think twice about what really matters, doesn't it?
It does, because it's so easy to get caught up in this world, you know, this curated online foodie paradise. But Salvia's story, it reminds us to look beyond the perfectly plated dishes and the filtered Instagram posts.
And remember that sometimes a simple plate of pasta with friends is more than enough.
I gotta say, this whole OnlyBuns thing, it's really got under my skin.
It's designed to, right?
Yeah.
Get you thinking. Yeah. And it's not just about food, is it? It's about so much more.
Exactly. It's a reflection of our online lives, you know? Our values, anxieties, it's all there.
Like those ridiculous membership tiers. I mean, Cannelloni, Casanova. Seriously.
But it's funny because don't you kind of want to be in the club, even if it's totally absurd?
Maybe a little. And that's what's scary, right? How easily we buy into this stuff.
And social media just fuels the fire. I mean, food is currency now. You post a picture of your dinner and suddenly you're
winning at life.
Exactly. But are we really experiencing these things? Or just performing for likes?
So that's what I keep coming back to. And it's like Vincenzo Salvia took that idea to the extreme with OnlyBuns in his story.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He turns it into this tool for manipulation, controlled by this shadowy organization called La Società Clandestina.
La Società Clandestina. That's
I know, right?
It's like something out of a spy thriller, but with more pasta.
But it makes you think about the influence these platforms have on us, right? The algorithms, the ads, it's all designed to
keep us hooked, keep us consuming.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Salvia doesn't leave us totally powerless. Remember how Tony, the protagonist, he fights back against the master chef?
Yeah. With his Nana's recipes, right?
Right. He challenges this whole system, this whole idea that fancier is better. It's like he's saying, hey, real connection, real passion, that's where it's at.
And he wins by staying true to himself, to his roots.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that we have a choice, you know? We don't have to buy into the hype. We can choose to be present, to enjoy a good meal without needing to impress anyone.
To be the chefs of our own lives, as Salvia puts it.
Exactly. So next time you find yourself scrolling through endless pictures of food, just stop and ask yourself, am I really hungry? Or am I just hungry for that like button?
And on that note, dear listeners, I'll leave you to ponder that. We've had a blast diving deep into the bizarre world of OnlyBuns. But for now, we're signing off with a renewed appreciation for a simple plate of pasta and the power of unplugging every now and then.